Spring is live right now, and Kevin Brown is obviously doing his thing. We already know about Matt Sieg as well, making plays during camp. The word is good coming out of Morgantown. We're also going to be talking about brand new recruit to West Virginia. You don't want to miss. He was a Hoss cat, and I'm here with PA today to talk about it.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host here. Welcome back into Locked On West Virginia, where we're talking Mountaineer sports again today. Thankfully, it's been a good week for West Virginia fans as the women won the Big 12 title yesterday. You can't do any better than that, right? I mean, it's been a great week so far, so let's hopefully keep this thing rolling, man. This episode is going to be brought to you by our friends at Mazda. And right now, guys, with Mazda, we put that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in that work that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we're talking about your team, the Mountaineers, every single day. I'm not alone. Of course, I've always got a guest on when it comes to these topics, so I'm very honored to be joined by first-time guest and PA sports, especially high school sports ball knower, John Mcusiac, man. Thank you from PA Sports today. What's up, my dude?
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Anytime I can talk football, I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. So I think, you're in a good spot there in PA. You said District 7 is an elite spot for football. West Virginia recently signed a kid out of that area. We're going to get to Dajon Webb. I want to keep saying Reynolds.
You keep saying it.
Yeah. But I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
But he just commit yesterday, day before.
Saturday night.
Yeah. So eventually I will get his name. But
Sure.
it's just an off name, But and then you got Kevin Brown and Matt Sieg, obviously, who are performing so well in camp right now. You've heard, you've heard some things. I've heard some things. We both heard some things. So, I think the best way to start, man, is with what's going on at West Virginia in practice right now. Spring practice has obviously started, and a couple Hoss cats are killing it right now, especially, you look around and see what Matt Sieg is doing right now. Is it Sieg or Sieg? How do you say it?
Sieg.
You said you've known him for a while. And, take me back to, his high school and a little bit about him, because I think West Virginia fans know, okay, he's a small school kid, highly rated, should have went to Penn State, but didn't. West Virginia lucked out there. What is West Virginia getting in this dual threat safety / athlete?
I'll start it like this. First and foremost, they're getting a winner, a proven winner. I mean, 2-time WPIL champion. And if you're in the state of Pennsylvania, District 7 titles almost mean just as much as state titles, how competitive this district is. I mean, this kid, he's proven. And I was talking to you earlier on the phone about it. I always say these kids in these lower classifications, I tell them if you're a 4 or even 5-star, which is rare in that low of a classification, but if you are, you should absolutely dominate. And there should be no doubt about it. And that's absolutely what he did from his freshman year over his career. And he came in over 2,000 total yards his freshman year. And I mean, he took the WPIAL by storm. Sophomore year, we know what he did. He made the run, won the district title. They did it again. He was knocked off in his senior year, but he was banged up a little bit with a shoulder injury. From what I'm hearing is, he is healed up now. As you can see, you just talked about it. He's making plays out there. I had some, I don't want to call them sources. They're good friends of mine. They were down at WVU Saturday with a lot of WPIAL prospects. I mean, a lot of prospects from Pennsylvania, out of state. They took those guys down there, and I got some rumblings back to me because I was at the Steel City, I think they called it the Steel Trench Showdown this past weekend with Aaron Donald, all those guys on site. And, those coaches were down at WVU, and I got some rumblings. They're saying he might start. He's been very impressive. And what you got to understand with Matt Sieg is before anybody knew him for the safety position, he was known for being a quarterback. He's a baseball player, and because I know his dad pretty well as well. So I've been caught up with his recruitment this whole time. Before football was ever an idea, he was going to play baseball in college. But he excelled and developed so much in football over those years. I mean, it was a no-brainer. And I think people for a long time, you look at the kid and you're like, okay, he's not a prototypical, like he's not your typical quarterback. We know that.
Right.
But the athleticism he has, the attributes and the traits that he does have, you can't teach that, because I always say there's guys that ball out in practice and they look well on 7v7. Whatever he does, he's good at. When the lights come on, he makes plays. I mean, playing in that down at that pro field at Acrisure Stadium 2 times, stepped up when his team needed him. Those are bright lights. I mean, the kid is experienced. And now the biggest question is going to be, coming from that smaller classification football, can he transition to Power 4 Division I football? I think he can, but I believe that's the biggest question right now.
Yeah, this is a kid that when you look at him on film, the things that stand out to me, obviously, the primary traits that he has are really downhill, trigger speed, physical run defender, really, really reliable tackler in space, elite closing burst, right? Those are things that immediately jump out. And then you see the areas that he's developed over the course of his time learning safety, the deep zone range, his route anticipation got better, especially versus slot guys last year. And then the production is there. And to me, he plays like a linebacker trapped in a safety body because he's more along the lines of just a football player, right? You saw the elite athleticism earlier whenever this video came out yesterday, I think it was, or the first day of spring practice, when he's one-hand intercepting a pass. I mean, this kid is a freaking athlete. And yes, he's got offensive game to himself. He reminds me of Jackson Benny at Utah, a guy that plays safety for them, really good football player, one of their best players. So, him and Smith Snowden were really good last year there, but they put him out at wide receiver and let him run around, and he made some plays on West Virginia there at Utah last year. He reminds me of him a little bit, and hopefully he can exceed that. But yeah, I think Jackson Benny's a pretty good comp. I'm curious about how he's going to fit in the Zach Alley scheme. He's a field safety, kind of that rover hybrid. I think he's going to be great versus a spread run support. And I think he'll be good versus the RPO. You get a lot of that in the Big 12. In the slot covering tight ends, he's 6'1", so he should be pretty good there. I mean, at the end of the day, tight ends are a mismatch for a reason. But, I think he'll be good there. And also, I can't wait to see him in some blitz packages, John. I think he's going to be good in a lot of spots.
Yeah, and I think the thing that people do not realize is how fast he is. Track
is 40 time, do you know?
It's 4.4, but what I always look at is that 100-meter, and he was a sub 11 second guy. I know the 4.4, the combine, but I always look at those track guys, and his 100-meter, he was a sub 11 guy, and he flat out flies. And the thing about Matt is when a lot of guys, not a lot of guys, but some guys, when they get the pads on, they're not as fast. It looks like he's faster, And I think for West Virginia, I think because we talked about this a little bit before we got on the show. I think for them, you do have to develop him at the safety position first. I know they're teasing the fact quarterback, wide receiver, running back, punt returner. I think you get him established at the safety position. And if you're going to start him, that's it at first. And then you slowly put packages in for him, because I think it is going to be a little bit too much to ask from week one to, we got packages for you offensively. I think it's going to take some time. We don't know if he's going to start yet. There's a lot of time. That hype day one, he's got to maintain that. In Division I football, especially nowadays, maintaining your spot is the hardest thing to do. You always got a guy on your heels. And, it's no lie. As a 4-star, coming in, you do have a little bit more insurance than some of these other guys. They got some money invested in you. They have some other
Correct.
resources invested in you. So you do have a lot more rope to, play with, per se. But at the same time, you always have someone on your heels in this transfer portal era and so on. So I think for him, and I talked to him many times throughout the season, interviewing him, he knew exactly what he needed to do. Sharpen his technique at the safety position, really become, that run game. He started coming downhill and really hitting people and making it a point to show that he can also tackle in the box, because people were like, is he big enough to come up and tackle in the box as a safety? He put on the pounds necessary. If you look at him, I seen that picture with Shane Cornelli, who's his best friend. He's from Fort Cherry. He's now on the WVU roster. They look yoked. Matt's forearms, they're huge. And I think that was something that people were wondering, is this kid, because when he was freshman, sophomore, very skinny kid, but junior, senior year, he developed the body, got in the weight room, and he looks like he's ready to play Division I ball now.
Really excited for his future, man. Hopefully whatever needs to happen for his development happens, but I do think that there's a path for him to start. And the word I've gotten out of camp from him so far is, what I've heard is duck to water. He's literally taken to it like a duck to water. So, I think it's just some guys are better than others. Now, Zach Alley is also known for being really good, like one of the best in the nation at installing. He just makes it really simple to learn. I even heard this from Oklahoma people whenever we pulled him over from Oklahoma. I don't know if he learned that from Venables or what. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot you can learn from Venables, but yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that he learned a lot of this from Venables and how to install, but he makes things easy, especially on the back end guys. So we'll see what happens with Matt. Let's go to break really quick. I have one more question about Matt. Then we're going to move over to Kevin, talk to Kevin Brown a minute, and then obviously Dajon Webb too. We'll get into him right after the break, guys. Stick around here as we're with PA Today's John Mcusiac, talking little PA kids, and obviously two of the best freshmen, not only just in the state of PA, but in the Big 12. So we'll be right back. Guys, I appreciate you so much for being here, and we have to talk about something right now with the Locked On Everydayer Club. Right now, the Locked On Everydayer Club is free for a month. So make sure you're checking this out. Would really appreciate it. It is something that, we've already had a bunch of people sign up today for. So I think it's going to work out really well. And we'll have, some good conversations. They're also going to come up with ways to have what I consider to be really good sources of content in there too. To get there, if you want to be a part of the conversation, a lot of the intel that I get will go in there now for a fact. Like I'm not playing around with it. It's going to be lockedonwestvirginia.supercast.com. Please make sure you head over there and sign up today, guys. It would make a lot of difference for the channel as well as for yourselves. All right, so we got to talk about our friends as well, guys, from 5 Hour Energy. And look, when it comes to 5 Hour Energy, we don't have to play. We don't got to play about it. We already know about it, right? 18 flavors. It's a lot of flavors, man. I'm not here to joke you. I'm not here joking around. But you know what? We're going to pick one. There can only be one number one, right? Watermelon is where I'm going today. That crisp, cool, caffeinated kick. It's got a juicy watermelon candy style flavor with light, refreshing sweetness with a subtle, clean fruit notes. Not overly heavy or syrupy, really. Just crisp and easy to drink quickly. Smooth with a refreshing finish. Now, if that's not your thing and you want to go to something a little bit different, you can try Confetti Craze, because It's got that delicious blend of rich and buttery, freshly baked confetti cake, smooth vanilla frosting, and a sprinkle of sweetness in every sip. Rich, indulgent sweetness from start to finish, and that smooth dessert-like taste profile. Make sure you're checking 5 Hour Energy out on Amazon, or you can just go to the website 5hourenergy.com and do it today. All right, guys. One last thing for our buddies right now over at Indeed. Right now with Indeed, guys, we're pretty cool with them right now because they want you to know about workplace chaos. It's not me, it's them. Deadlines are stacking up, inboxes are overflowing, and it's chaos, right? Well, the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure is on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for with skills, experience, and location. So you're not just hoping for the right candidate to stumble across your post. And here's the stat that says it all. In the 1 minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, you want to spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes, you can do it today with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing those people with less time, less stress, and more results. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help you get the jobs your premium status that deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast today and support our show by saying you heard about our show on Indeed. And we would really appreciate that, guys. So Indeed.com/podcast where the terms and conditions apply. Do you need to hire? Well, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And we are in segment 2. In every segment 2, we crack open a do. John Mcusiac, this do's for you. Appreciate you so much for coming on, my dude. Let everybody know what you got going on. I know you got a YouTube thing. You've got a bunch of stuff going on. So just shoot it out there.
Right now, what we got going on is, the X and the Instagram we built up first. Go ahead and go follow us on there. On X, it's PA_ Today Sports. On Instagram, PA Today _. And I run a weekly live show. It's mainly WPIL recruiting, and during the season, it's WPIL football breakdown. I'll touch on some overall Pennsylvania recruiting if it's big enough news. And right now what we got going on is I got a series I'm starting. I just started. I was down at the Steelers facility shooting that Steel Trench showdown. And it's called the Boots on the Ground series. We're doing 4 episodes in the spring, 6 in the summer, and then we're going to do a game every week. Because since I've been doing this, I've been going to a football game every week. I've been making a game of the week. But this year I'm going to mic up. I'm going to have multiple cameras on it. The platform's gotten big enough to do this. I'll give live reactions. We'll have players talking about the game afterward. We're really going to take the content to the next level. So that's the plans moving forward. But every Monday morning, typically we're live. I didn't go live this Monday morning. My producer had a funeral to go to. So we're going to be live tomorrow at noon on live if you're looking for WPIL Pennsylvania recruiting talk. We're going to be talking about District 7 top 10 returning quarterbacks. So it'll be some good stuff tomorrow.
Okay, guys, make sure you go check out John and all the things he's got going on over there, especially since West Virginia is so heavily involved in PA. It would serve you if you're a junkie like I am and like he is to follow it anyway, because more than likely West Virginia is reaching out to the top players in every region of Pennsylvania, not just 7. So, in District 10 a little bit too. All right, guys. So, Kevin Brown is obviously probably on a different level than almost anybody West Virginia has recruited, and I don't even know the last time. And it's shown through. You look at what he's doing right now. He's 6'6", he's 310 pounds, and he moves like a deer. It's pretty wild. John, we were talking about him on the phone. Sometimes people just are born and given genetics that, we would kill for. This is one of those guys.
I'm going to say it like this. There's no secret why he was committed to Penn State, which was I think it was the top recruiting class at the peak of all of that. There's no doubt about him, in my opinion. And there's not many recruits you could say that about. You watch the film, and I was talking to you earlier before. I think the biggest thing with offensive linemen is how are they going to transition from the high school trenches to the college trenches? At Harrisburg, he's playing against 6A trenches. So he's playing against those high school kids that are going to transition into to Division I football, and I think that was big because he's a weight room warrior. We've seen all the videos, we've seen the clips. The dude's going to be in the gym putting in work, but you touched on it. I think his agility and his ability to move is something that I think people have broke him down a lot because you said he's one of the top offensive line recruits in the country, but his agility, I think if anything's being slept on, I think it's that because we knew the power that came with him. We knew his technique, but it's his agility and how well he moves. And he was putting guys in the dirt all year long. I was looking at that film earlier. I mean, he's a guy. He should be on the field his freshman year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's in the mix for that right now for sure. Like, people I've spoken to, obviously it's just really early on, but yeah, he is 1,000% in the mix. West Virginia went out and signed. I mean, it's just a flat out truth. It wasn't, can we or will we? It's we must fix the offensive line this year. The worst offensive line in school history, at least in my lifetime, was last year. And then we were going to live, and Rich Rodriguez, he wasn't going to tolerate that again. We know that. So they went out and signed 5 starters from other places. 2 were all conference. One is what turned out to be the best offensive lineman on Kansas State's team. One paved the way for one of the best running offenses in the country at UConn. So, these aren't just your everyday guys you're bringing in. He was a starter there last year. No, West Virginia went out and get the best they could afford, and they sunk a lot of money into the offensive line. So, Kevin Brown even being in the discussion as a freshman, even with his high rating, is impressive. And I think that, depending on how it all shakes out, I still think he's going to play a lot this year either way. I don't think that's going to change. So he's going to be in a good spot to get a lot of significant snaps under his belt. What were some of the things that were like, oh my God, this is almost like lore behind this guy whenever he was in high school? You were telling me about he broke every record and
I think
all these different things.
Because like I said, I've not been around that guy nearly as much as I've been around these District 7 guys. But being in Pennsylvania, you hear a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure he's got all those weight room records. And the thing on his film is, I say this a lot of times with offensive linemen, there's certain guys, when they touch you, defensive linemen freeze, and that's what he does to guys. It's like he's got an electric bolt on his hands because when he touches guys, it gives him a jolt. And I think that's something WVU fans are going to like a lot about that guy. He's mean. He's a good kid from what I heard, but he is mean on the field. The things he was doing to kids last year, you almost felt bad watching the film.
Yeah. Putting you on the spot here a little bit, and I don't mean to. If you don't know who this player is, I don't know the extensive. I mean, you can't know every player. But did you happen to get know Yender McKinney at all?
I did not.
Okay. He was apparently Kevin Brown's good friend. And he was a Susquehanna guy.
Okay.
And Kevin said, look, when I went up against him, he was one of the best players I played against in all of high school, only an 83 rated guy.
Uh-huh.
And West Virginia got to looking at the film, and it's like, oh, wait, there is something here. Just based off from what I understand, at least in part, Kevin's recommendation. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? You know what I mean?
100%.
But yeah, I'll shoot you him over because he's one of those underdogs. Obviously we're here for another reason too. I don't mean to blow over Kevin, but and for those of you that if you are for whatever reason unfamiliar with Kevin Brown, 6'6", 310 pounds, the most legitimate lineman we probably brought in since Wyatt Milam. As far as, okay, he's going to be really good. There's just no, I didn't go through his traits because I didn't feel like there was a need to, but first of all, he's got a massive wingspan. He's got the thickest lower body I've ever seen on a human being. He's got the natural knee bend that you would need. Like, he's below 90 degrees if he wants to. Like whenever he gets down into a squat, his hands are extremely heavy. His anchor is one of the best I've ever seen too. Like whenever he anchors in, dudes don't budge him back. And like I said, he was top 3 overall offensive lineman rated in the nation. So West Virginia really lucky to get him. I think he's going to be a great one. But he's not the only one that's going to be great. West Virginia picks up a commitment from somebody that I'm going to say it on this show. I've been watching him a lot the last couple of days. I really do believe, and I'm not just saying this for the camera, and I'm not just saying it for any other reason than I just believe it. I truly believe Dajon Webb is one of the most underrated guys I've seen come out in a while. I don't know how this dude isn't already rated. I know he's still 2 years back. Well, he's a 27 guy, but I mean, coming into this year, he was 2 years back. I'm going to ask John about that a little bit here in a second because there has to be a reason for it. We'll talk about that next. All right, guys, we got to talk about really quick here our friends at Mazda. We go with Mazda. Look, guys, with Mazda right now, the moving the game forward thing, it's happening. And for those who show there's more to the score than what's on screen, look, these remind us what it takes to really raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving us that extra fire, that's that grit, and I never quit. We put the same passion into every model with highlights that make the real. What it took to get there makes it count. Because there's more to a Mazda, because there's more to you. All right, guys. So, we obviously talking about Dajon Webb here, and I think he's a guy that, there's no possible way I could get out of here without talking about him. And, there's nobody at the chair. Looks something may have happened there. I'll wait to see if he comes back. Looks like he may have expected this ad read to last a little longer. Yeah, there he comes now. Oh, gosh. We came to you and you weren't there.
Man, you had a long commercial break last time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, usually we read sometimes 4 ads. We during March Madness, things like that, like, sometimes the ad breaks can be a little longer. So apologies for that, brother.
No, you're good, man.
Okay, so I've hyped it up a lot, and I don't know if you can. I mean, would you consider what I'm saying to be hyperbolic about Dajon Webb? I mean, Dajon.
DeJour. DeJour is the one that's committed to WVU.
Got it. I'm reading my background, which I made before we got on here, before you corrected me earlier again. This is gonna be the death of me, isn't it? No, in all seriousness, though, this is a dude that on film is just I didn't know a dude that was that big could move quite as well as he does.
Yeah, and, I guess I'll kind of answer your question right away. You said he was slept on, underrated. I think this was the biggest thing with Dajon Webb. He's a bigger kid, okay? And that's no secret. He's 6'3", 330 pounds.
I'm going to play some highlights while you talk.
Yeah, that'd be great. He's 6'3", 330 pounds. I met DeJour he was a sophomore coming in as a transfer from Seneca Valley into Pine Richland. And first interview, no confidence, wasn't too confident in his game. The thing with him now is he believes he's the best defensive lineman on the field, and it's true in many instances. As you got this tape rolling here, first and foremost, Dajon Webb is a run stopper. He's going to set that line of scrimmage for you, and his ability to get off the ball has gotten extremely good over the years. His first punch knocks offensive linemen back off the ball. He's a bowling ball inside, and he causes offenses nightmares every time he's on the field. And I think a lot of people didn't understand the tone he was setting for this Pine Richland defense because of how good they were and how talented they were. But running the ball with him in the middle of the field,
I mean, that's a double team right there. No shot.
It's a nightmare. He's clogging everything up, Paul. And I mean, this guy, I'll answer it again. I think another big thing was his agility was not as good as you see in this video when he was a sophomore, even his sophomore season. That got developed last season. He's been working this 5v5 with 7 Twice Academy, that development with 2 tenths. They're known for his speed and agility. That's Aaron Donald's former trainer with Dwayne Brown. He's affiliated with that program. Byron DeValle's 7 Twice Academy. If you haven't heard about it, they got one of the best offensive line academies going on in the country right now. He's affiliated with the right people. And then you got to give a ton of credit to his coach over at Pine Richland and his family. They welcomed him and his brother Dajon in like family as soon as they transferred in day one. And any recruit will tell you, having the confidence of your coach is the biggest thing. It put a battery in DeJour's back. He had people in his ear like Byron DeValle's telling him, this is what it could be, because WVU is his biggest offer. And I'll tell you right now, if he didn't commit, he would have had bigger ones heading into the season that he's about to have. So for WVU to get a guy like this right now, it was perfect timing. And, he was down there Saturday. He committed. He put it out evening, but I'm pretty sure it happened earlier in the day. And from my understanding, they have a plan for him. He liked what the coaches were telling him. He liked the environment, and he liked what he was hearing as far as the plan for the classroom and everything moving forward. So from what I understand is they have a complete plan for him. And, I don't think they take a guy like that unless they do.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously, I don't know if this is disrespectful or not, but you don't want him to get any bigger, right? I think he's probably in a good place.
Yeah.
And so you got to make sure it's managed, right? Because he's a kid. He's 17 years old. Like,
yes,
somebody's got to handle him a little bit, because left to his own devices, you don't know what they're going to do. Maybe he's you've got to train these guys into the habits. You got to build them up, to a certain point. And this success that he's getting right now, guys, sometimes knocks people off track, right? So, and I don't know him at all to say one way or the other. I'm just saying, it's obviously a concern for some people, right? So, you definitely don't want him to get any bigger, and maybe even want him to lose a little bit. I don't know what the goal is. I do think based off his athleticism, he would be okay at a larger size. I just was not. There's another piece of film here that I wish I could play. It's him at it's like a rivals type circuit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. If you pull it up, because he's doing a lot of circuits right now. He's playing with 24K. I don't know if you ever heard that organization. They're one of the biggest 7v7, 5v5 orgs in the country. They play in OT7, everything like that. So he took a trip down there with that AD 210s team, and they saw him, and they're like, "What? You're one of the premier guys in the country," because that's the type of organization they are. They have 4 and 5 stars on that roster primarily, and they're like, "Come play with us." So you're not the only one that's like waking up to Dajon Webb.
Yeah, dude. As I watch this again, which I'm going to play it here in just a second. I'm screen recording it while we're live, actually. His feet. Like he's incredible. Like I really do think that people have just totally slept on him. And imagine when he gets exposed to the right weight program and the right everything. He's just growing right in front of our eyes. So yeah, so fun to see. We'll definitely here in just a second. I'm gonna pull this off. Yep, there's the last part of it. And we will go ahead and pop it in here on StreamYard, because this kid, man, he's exciting to watch. I really do. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the audio, but it's really not needed for this, I don't think. So really quick while I load this in, what do you think if you could make a list of his best traits? Like you mentioned, he's able to stop the run, but what are his best traits as athletically to you?
You talking that attributes or coming off the ball?
Attributes. Like physical attributes.
It's 100% his strength. That is with the jour. That's what you get. I mean, they call him Biscuit. He's a big kid, and he
Biscuit.
uses that weight. I mean, that leverage. It's his punch. I mean, I've seen him blow centers off the ball into the running back many times, and he's playing in a classification. It's good football. 5A, 6A Pennsylvania football is as good as it gets. He's doing this to not scrubs. Sometimes in those lower classifications, you're doing it to guys that shouldn't be on the field with you. But he's doing it to guys that should be on the field. And I think that's what really woke the coaches up. And I think something that also woke the coaches up as far as coming off the ball is he put a ton of tools in the bag. And once again, that's the development that comes with being around Aaron Donald, Elliott Donald, former Pitt Panther, if you remember, Central Catholic alum. I mean, those guys, ever since Aaron Donald has retired, he's been around the 210s program, 7 Twice Academy programs. I mean, how often do you get tips from, I know you're not going to like it because it's a Pitt guy, but the best defensive player of all time? It's not very often that happens.
Debatable. He's definitely in the conversation.
I'm from Pittsburgh, brother.
Yeah, right. Well, so is Pat McAfee.
Hey, I got no Pitt WVU. I got no feelings either way. I just call it how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. So we got this clip here of him in shorts, and you'll kind of get a better feel for how he moves. I think it may have caught your voice while you were talking about him, but that's fine. We'll just let you talk again.
Yeah. So he took a trip down there with that AD 210s team, and they saw him. And they're like, "What? You're one of the premier guys in the country," because that's the type of organization they are. They have 4 and 5 stars on that roster primarily, and they're like, "Come play with us." So you're not the only one that's like waking up to Dajon Webb.
All right, so you can see here, like this kid can really move around, man. Like you can unmute yourself if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this kid can move his feet for a kid this size, 320 pounds. I love his offensive line work too, but this is where he shines on the defensive line, moving around. Like he's explosive, man. And he, like you mentioned, I think that's exactly it. He's got tools in the bag. And look at that up and under. This kid is an athlete.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at a kid that big, you wouldn't think he's able to move that well.
No.
And I think that's what happens a lot of times with guys, lining up against him. I don't think they think he's going to be able to swim, move the way. He's quick. And his handwork, that's another thing. His technique has improved a lot over the year. His handwork is something that, also needs to be highlighted with him coming off the ball.
Yeah. What I love about him too is like, he just doesn't get knocked backwards at all. Like I don't know if I'm sure it's happened to him at some point, but I haven't seen it.
That's that strong base too,
Yeah. And like the thing is he's got good bend. Like you wouldn't think he would have good bend.
No, he's flexible.
So, like I just wonder, like, what would he be like at 305? Like or maybe they want him at 320. I mean, guys play that. How tall is he? 6'1"?
He's 6'3". I think you want to get at least 10, 15 pounds off him, in my opinion, at the next level. Because he's quick at this high school level. But, we'll see how that transitions, because as some of these guys go into that at that college level, when they get with those strength and conditioning coaches, some of their attributes tend to show more, because in high school, if you're not with a pro trainer, they're not individualizing your development, if that makes sense, in the weight room.
Yeah.
And at the college level, there's guys that are paid to do just that, to get you and to meet your best ability possible. And I think with a guy like Dajon, getting in there, getting on a health plan, getting on a great fitness schedule, if he can cut 15 pounds, I think he becomes that much better. Not that he's going to be, he couldn't be great at this weight. I think it helps with a lot of things, though.
If I were grading him, and I'm nowhere near qualified, but if I were grading him, I could see him becoming a 4-star player. Like I could see that for him. I truly believe that.
It is tough. I've only up in this area. I've only seen a few do it just because he's heading into his senior year. Like last year, we had Jay Timmons. He was on no one's board his sophomore year. I think a 3-star, went to a 4-star for his junior year, and then halfway through his junior year, they moved him through a 5-star. So it's rare. But if you have one of those type of seasons, it can happen. He could possibly be a low 4-star, but I think he's going to end up being a high 3-star at the end of the day.
Yeah, 88 or so.
Yeah, it's going to be 88, 80. What is it 90 that 91, right?
90. I think it's 90.
91. Yeah, and it's like I always look at those. I'm always like, how did they, and I don't want to get started on it too, but it's like guy commits here, drops there.
This tells you all you need to know. Kevin Brown's not a 5-star. Like that to me tells me everything I need to know. Like,
was he ever a 5-star?
They off the record, like I was told that he was offered a 5-star to commit on a certain website.
That's what I don't like about all this, and just my opinion. I don't think the commitment should have anything to do with it. I think we've lost a little bit from evaluating what the player does on the field. But if Penn
State would have got him, he would have stayed 5-star. Probably would have went to 5-star.
And that's something, that's something that's a shame. It shouldn't matter what school you go to. That's the one thing I don't like in the recruiting world.
You got paid like a 5-star.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
West Virginia made sure they got him, dude. Like,
yeah, they don't care.
West Virginia had the in with his dad because he played for West Virginia. And here's the thing: like West Virginia's got the greatest sales pitch right now because in the entire sport of college football, you could say like if somebody said West Virginia has the greatest offensive line coach of the last 30 years. Nobody would blink an eye at that. Rick Trickett is one of the best offensive line coaches ever. He's put 41 players into the NFL. Like that's a lot. And obviously the national championship with Jimbo Fisher and all that. So, he's an older guy, obviously, and that's probably one knock you could have against a guy like Trickett, but he still does 200 squats every day, I'm told, and at 78, 79 years old is still very spry. But he's still got a lot to impart on these guys. He's going to do media on Wednesday. We're going to hear from him. So really excited to hear about that. And, dude, thank you for coming on. This has been fun. Love your knowledge. Love guys that dig in like you do. I'll gladly have you on again. I think you're very – it's nice for me not to have to carry, you know what I mean, when it comes to
I love that too when I do my show. It's like it is refreshing to get someone that could talk a little bit. I love that.
Yeah, well, as far as like, all the things. Like it's one thing to have an opinion, but like to be able to actually go into why, like he does this, that, and that, like get into the traits and the attributes and get a little bit down in the weeds. Like that's what a lot of people like about what I can do sometimes is just learn. I'm self-taught because I've had to learn what things are and then apply it to the film over the course of years. And I'm still learning a lot, like I never for a second think I'm qualified to be, a recruiting director or something like that, but I'm always try to stay humble about it. But like, I still have an opinion about it. I think that's valuable. And that's, at least for my audience. So, dude, you were the man. It's been fun talking with you. We got to run. We're over on time, which is usual for me, but I will definitely make sure to have you on again, especially when Matt Sieg and DeJour and Kevin all break out. And we're going to be like, it was because of John.
And if you want to get DeJour on the show, I can line that up for you. Just let me know.
Dude, yeah, line that up for me. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I got your number. I'll reach out to him tomorrow. I'll get that hooked up for you. Just let me know when you want it to go down.
Just let him know I'm a supporter. You know what I mean? Because I know
for
kids
sure
probably don't know. Like,
no, he's good at. Some kids aren't able to talk. DeJour is able to talk. He'll get on here and he'll talk your ear off. He's a really good kid, and I think that's something what WVU fans are going to like about him is he's lighthearted and he's a good kid. So I'll get him on here for you for sure.
Sounds good, man. And thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for being here as well. Make sure you go follow John. Obviously worth a follow over on X, on Instagram. He has his own YouTube thing popping off. And we will see you guys in the next one here on Locked On West Virginia. Like, share, subscribe, guys. And also, before we go, got to let you know about Locked On College Football. listen, Spencer McLaughlin's the man. He does a great job over there covering the Oregon Ducks and football as a whole in college. So we will see you there, guys. We out of here. Cue Country Roads.